Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for a match of the United Rugby Championship. Now, it's been a little while since this competition has taken place. We get a bit of a teaser of what is to come next weekend, but just for this weekend, it is Lions versus Sharks, a South African derby for heading into the full round, like I said. For next week, looking through at the starting lineups, the Lions are the hosts of this contest. SJ Kotsi in the front row alongside PJ Bote and Azanati Klabakanye. The loose, or in fact, in the locking duo, Tene Easterhazen as the number 4 with Daniel Landsberg at 5. He's a very elusive ball runner, Landsberg. Could really do some damage in front of the home crowd. In the number 6 jersey, it is Masashi. Alongside him, Ruan Fenter and Frankie Horn, the captain, as the number 8. Morne Funenberg and Chris Smith, once again partner as that 19 combination. Angelo Davids out on the left wing. Bronson Mills and Henko Funvake in the middle. Then Kelly and Peku out on the right and Gillen Horn as the number 15 for the Sharks side. They have rested a few of their Springboks. There's no Oxnashare, no Bongi Manambi for this game, and also no Andre Esterhazen, who would normally be the captain. So the skipper in this contest, it is Vincent Tuchuka, slots in at number 7. But in the front row, Gonyani alongside Fezan Bata and Handro Jacobs as the number 3. Kone Rall and Jason Jenkins in the locking duo with Mavaseri, Tuchuka and Thomas Dyer gets that chance. As the number 8, they have got Pepsi Putalese making his way off of the bench. He's been fighting for those starting minutes. No Emmanuel Tuchuka in this game either would have been up against his old side. Sia Masuku as the 10 with Jaden Hendrickson slotting in at 9. Jaco Williams out on the left wing, one of the young standouts at the moment for the Sharks. Lorenzo Julius takes on 12 with Francois Fenter on the outside at 13. Then Edward van der Merwe, 14 in this game, and Apelele Fasi as that number 15. But those are the starting lineups, ladies and gentlemen. For some reason, I can't sleep. It could be because of the matches that are taking place throughout the next couple hours. We've got this game in the South African Derby. Then we've got Ireland versus England in the Six Nations, followed by Scotland versus Wales. So 3 great games, 6.5 hours or so of commentary. So you guys might be sick of me by the end of today. And then we've still got Super Rugby in the Six Nations tomorrow as well, just to add a little bit more icing on the cake. What is still to come, the Sharks are going to lose in Joburg, 27 points to 14, the Lions to win. And the Lions do come in as favourites heading into this matchup. It is quite intriguing. We did see the Lions play a bit of a warm-up game up against the Pumas just last week. They did struggle a little bit. Or in fact, no, was it Pumas or was it another cat of some sort? I think it was Pumas, though, that they ended up playing, but they'll be firing, ready to go in this competition. Is JC still out? He is. Yep, no sign of JC Pretorius and this Lions lineup, but this is the way that the table sits. Now, this is a bit of a refresher because, once again, we've hardly had any URC throughout the last little while, but Glasgow Warriors, they are at the top of the bunch on the 44 points with 9 matches won, 2 lost, with the points differential sitting at an insane 155 in their favour. Leinster in second. They did start a little bit shaky, but have slowly kept on developing as the season's worn on. The Stormers in third, the first South African side. The next South African team is the Bulls. They are sitting on 25 points. As you can see, extremely close at the moment with where these sides are sitting. The game in hand for the Lions and the Sharks compared to some of the sides above them. And they're both on 24 points. So no matter what, whoever wins this game, they will go up to 7th and more than likely knock the Ospreys out of the top 8. There is actually a chance that both of these sides can go through as well, or at least get into the top 8, but points differential probably makes that a little more difficult. But of course, those 4 tries get you the bonus point in the URC. Looking at recent fixtures, and once again, this is all just a memory refresh because of how long it's been since we've seen these sides in action. Their last game was early February. That was up against the Bulls for the Lions, 52 points to 17. The games prior to that taking place all throughout January. The 24-24 draw with the Ospreys, the 2020 draw up against Pepinier, and then the win over Lyon in the Challenge Cup, and a close game up against the Sharks in Durban. That one was won by this Lions team. So currently in the head-to-head for this year, they are sitting 1-0, looking to make it 2-0. And at this match, but for the Sharks side, they've started to find some nice momentum. Definitely with the fact that they beat the Stormers back-to-back in the URC. Not many people saw that one coming, but they certainly played a couple great games of rugby. They beat Clermont, they lost the Sale Sharks, and then that narrow game up against the Lions. There's the Champions and Challenge Cup still to return in the relatively near future to keep an eye on for the sides as well. Not the Lions, though. Unfortunately, they did get knocked out, so now the full focus for this Lions team is staying in that top 8 and going further than they have before. And the URC, hello again, Hamish, says Jonathan. Welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. And yeah, hope you're excited for so much rugby. I have to say, it's currently almost 1 a.m. here in New Zealand, but it doesn't feel like it. It kind of feels like the start of a rugby day in some regard. But yeah, there's a lot of matches taking place throughout the next 36 hours or so. The Ranger Julius, that's my pick, says Kyle, and England versus Ireland. Both sides are underperforming in my view, says Katzenell, which will mean that they're both more determined than ever to come out and fire in a match up against each other. We know what normally happens when England plays Scotland. There are fireworks. We know that Ireland didn't get off to their best start in the Six Nations, so they want redemption. Fire them up, give them a chance later on in the comp. So if anything, I think that because both sides have suffered a little bit of a hiccup along the way, they might be more motivated and more determined to play great rugby than they may have been elsewise. But we have got Hamish, says Daryl, welcome in. And good, thank you. I don't know how you keep this up. Neither, to be honest. It's very late here in New Zealand. We have been up since 7 a.m. yesterday. Now it is, unfortunately. So that's not too bad. It's about 18 hours, somewhere around there. It could be worse. And my boyfriend used to play for the Sharks, says Martin Meyer. Does that mean you're going for them here? Or depending on how you broke up, will depend on whether or not maybe you want the Lions to win out of spite for your ex-boyfriend, perhaps. We have got there, it's almost 2 p.m. in South Africa. And local derby always rise to the occasion, says Daryl. And yeah, both these sides will be determined to get their URCs back underway. It's always weird having such a long layoff midway through the season, but this is the next week that we are going to get to see in the URC. Now, these are not the only 2 games. Everyone will actually be playing in the URC round, but the Lions taking on the Stormers next week, another home game, so 2 in a row for this Lions team, and then the Bulls will host the Sharks at Loftus. That's going to be a challenging one, but if the Sharks, let's just say, if they can beat the Stormers twice this season and then beat the Bulls at Loftus, they thoroughly deserve that spot in the top 8, and the fact that they've been able to do 2 games up against the Stormers, 2 victories, and they aren't in the top 8 at the moment, tells you just how competitive this URC has been this season, looking through a little bit further in the future. And these are the next games for these 2 sides. So they play next week, then they have about half a month off before they get back into the action. Lions versus Edinburgh, and then following that, the game up against the Dragons. For the Sharks, 2 home games in a row up against Munster and Cardiff. Both terrible times here in New Zealand in terms of the start times, but we will be, of course, up covering those games. We have got there, are you ready for Springboks versus England? That's taken place in about 130 days. So I'll say no. I'll probably look forward to it once I know the squads and who's actually going to be playing in that contest. But until then, we can just wait and anticipate with bated breath and get excited for what's still to come. We have got there 5 p.m. in Kazakhstan. It's home a lot in South Africa, says Jonathan. And which channel is it in? For us here in New Zealand, it's on URC TV. In South Africa, it's normally about 207-ish, I think. Is normally the channel it ends up on. Hi, all, says Holdy in there. Welcome in. And Joshua is here too. Shout out to my mate Thomas Dyer. First start in the URC. Let's go the Sharks. Yeah, I'll be honest. I was a bit confused at who it was in that number 8 jersey. Mainly because we've seen Emmanuel Tichuka playing that role. We've seen Vincent Tichuka in there. We've seen Pepsi Putalese get the chances too. But Thomas Dyer, big chance now for that man in the number 8 jersey. I'm hoping he's going to have a big game because it would be, I guess, best case scenario for the Sharks to have even more great options in their loose forward trio after Kolisi going to the Stormers for next year. We have got there, good afternoon, how are you, my best friend? Says Mohadeen, and also we did get there later on. He said, can I ask you a question? Go for it, Mohadeen. Hopefully it's not a repeat question of the ones that you normally ask each and every live stream. But we'll wait and see. We have got there, if the Lions win, I'll give up girls, says Rugby Ready. They are favourites, Rugby Ready, so I hope maybe you're looking for an excuse to say that, but there's a good chance that they win this game. Why do they take a long break after next week? Just because of the Six Nations is the main reason behind it. So everyone comes back for the URC next round, but a lot of the Six Nations guys will not be playing for their certain sides, which kind of works out because a lot of them are derby matches, so you don't get too many games that teams are heavily affected. But yeah, it's pretty much because of that break in the Six Nations, couple more rounds of that, and then after that, back into the URC and Champions Cup underway. We have got there should be a good game. It's on free-to-air here in Ireland on TG4. Perfect. So you'll be able to watch this game as a nice prelude to that match later on between Ireland and England. That's going to be a huge one. This one too, though, looks like a decent-ish crowd for this match of the URC. If Lions win, I will take a shower. If Sharks win, I will take a bath. Well, there you go. Which is your preferred option, Pender? If you had to pick one, like who are you actually hoping wins in that case? If it's a draw, do you do both? Or have you got it like it separated? Maybe your shower's not attached to your bath, so then you have to jump between the two. How's our Hamish Craig from St Francis Bay here again? Welcome in. And I see not playing when is his last game. He's still got a few more games remaining for the Sharks, but not playing in this game alongside Oxen Share, alongside Andre Esterhazy, a few of those guys just getting a little bit more stand-down time. They will have quite a busy period in the near future of the URC when we get fully back underway. So I think it's just that mandatory rest that they're trying to use a little bit here. Do you think the high rice price in London is the reason for England's poor performance? I haven't seen the rice price in London. How much is the rice going for? Per 100 grams, what are you looking at, Martin? And we're talking 100 grams dry rice, not cooked, because of course that's a little bit more. Afternoon, Craig, says Ruth. Why the sad face for Craig there, Ruth? But this first half just about to get underway. Do let me know your score predictions in the comments as well, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, this game is the first of a very long time in the URC for these two teams. The last time that they played was pretty much early February, so around 3 weeks ago. I feel like quite a long time to have to wait for this next round. I think we'll go like that, and we will go like that as well. We have got the 6p50, says Martin. What's that work out to in New Zealand dollars? 6p50 sounds all right, though, in terms of a price of the rice. This game on DSTV channel 211, says Sandra. If the Sharks win, I won't watch you for a year. That could happen, to be fair. At the moment, the way that it sits, I don't think the Sharks have a terrible chance of going on to lose this game. In fact, they're probably, they're underdogs, but I don't know how much they should be. Ahoy H, have a lekker day streaming. Says one Pierre Bosch. And yeah, hopefully, once again, you're excited for all the rugby that we do get to see. Afternoon, Ruth, says Craig. And Sharks 50 to the Lions 10. And Hamish looking forward to the games today. Big time. Very excited. And the thing is, the whole way through, Highlanders Chiefs was a great game. Blues versus Force started off as a good game. Started getting a little bit one-sided near the end, but a bit of late drama added to that game a little bit. This game's anticipated to be close. So if that happens, and it is, then it will just build us perfectly further through the day. England versus Ireland, Wales versus Scotland. Who needs sleep? You can sleep when it's the weekdays. But it's going to be a hectic one throughout the next 6 hours. How do I avoid bags under the eyes? Or how do you avoid bags under the eyes from all the lack of sleep? See, the benefit is, since I was a very young child, I've always had kind of the black under eyes, like this part here. The bags I never really got, so that's quite good. But I've always had dark in there. So people can't tell if I'm actually sleep deprived or whether it's just how my eyes looked. So I think that's the way that I do it. What you're building next week, I think we're still renovating the same place that we renovated last week, which is nice. But most of the concrete's down now, so that's good news. And should be the harder work done. Sharks 26, Lions 21. Would you like to watch a movie or rugby? Well, there's 3 games of rugby just about to take place, and they will have just as much entertainment as any movie out there. So we'll take the rugby every day of the week. You, sir, are an absolute legend. This channel is my go-to place if I'm out of the country and need commentary. Keep it going, Hamish. Sleepers for Wimps says Fantastic Rugby Geek, and it is greatly appreciated you tuning in once more. And yeah, this game's going to be, hopefully, as good as I think it will be. Either that, or I'm going to just be very sad for 80 minutes. $15.66 per 100 grams. That's brutal pricing. What job do you do full time? So I am a labourer/builder during the week. It's a little bit of a juggle at times, depending on when it's taking place. Definitely some of these games that we see, such as on Monday morning, we're going to have a match at 4 a.m. and then probably going to work about 3 hours after that. And hey, Joe, good to see you, says Roof, and go the Sharks, says Stefan. Me too, I don't have a TV, only watch you, says Mahadimba. Both these sides have made their way out onto the field. Vincent Tachuka, the captain of the Sharks side. Now, I am not very good at predictions, but if I'm going to give you one prediction for this game, and it's going to be a risk, Vincent Tachuka to score. I did start saying early on in the season that he was doing well, but I do prefer him at 8. So that's a little bit of a tricky part because he is playing in that number 7 jersey for today, so maybe he won't get as many chances as he would from the 8 role. But also because he's captain, he may transition to 8 later on in the game. Can't wait to watch TV, so I have to tune in, will the stream. says Kyle. We see they're about to make their way out onto the field as well. Here the Lions at Tini Oosterhuizen at the front of the bunch. As the Sharks ever lost to the Lions, and since when? The Sharks have lost to the Lions. They lost to them actually in January. So they lost only about 5 weeks ago. Or in fact, less than that, in fact. 1 second, we'll go like this. There we go. That's the Lions' last 5 games. Sharks lost this game January 4th. So they lost about a month and a half. Oh, yeah, so it is about 6 weeks since that loss. I can't believe how quick the year's going at this stage. But yeah, they've lost the most recent head-to-head up against this Lions side. And I hope all is well, no hay fever. I hope you know hay fever's been good so far throughout the last couple of weeks. I think it's because we're getting closer to winter. Our full-time job is level 7 Pokemon trainer. See, I really don't know a lot about Pokemon, which I think people would be like, what? You can't say that, but yeah, I have no clue. I would say if someone was like, if you don't name 20 Pokemon, we're going to hit you, I'm probably getting hit. Because I got like the 3 basic ones, and that's all. And what happens if it's draw? Then it's a draw. The 2 sides will split the points, which of course isn't the ideal scenario. But at the same time, it would mean that both of these teams make it into the top 8. So maybe you could say it wouldn't be the most terrible thing to happen for these teams. It would keep them within touch. They're playing John Cena's entrance music by the sounds of it at the moment, getting the crowd fired up. The time is now for the start of this matchup. The Sharks in white, they are wearing the black strip for this game. The Lions, I believe they are also in red for this game. So both home kits in this matchup. I guess because the colours don't really overlap, it makes it perfect for them both to be able to play. But the Sharks, they are going to be kicking off this one from right to left for the first game of the URC in about 3 weeks for these two sides. What time is it in New Zealand now? It is currently 1:02 a.m. So the perfect time to watch rugby by my body clock. But Sia Masuku to get us underway. Do let me know. I mentioned Vincent Tachuka as the guy who I think will score in this game. Who is one player from all the guys that you can see next to me? Who is the guy that you think is going to score a try? And I will star them and we'll see who gets it right. That's going to be kicked downfield, taken quickly by the Sharks as well with that quick line out. Oh no, maybe not. A little bit of an anticlimax. They're going to go back for that line out. What is the temperature here or at the game? I think at the game they're expecting thunderstorms, so they're probably mid-20s at the moment, I'd say. Grant Williams to score. Is he in there? I think he is missing from this game. Unfortunately, Grant Williams. They got Jaden Hendrickson in the starting lineup. Grant Williams will score. Has he been put in the game late or is he still... Oh, the lineup, I haven't got him changed. That'll do it. Sorry, Grant Williams is not starting. It's Jaden Hendrickson. That is a good setup by myself. I didn't mean to do that. My apologies. But yeah, it's actually Jaden Hendrickson as the starting 9 in this game. That's the one name that didn't get changed across the whole lineup by the looks of it. And we have got there Kuan Horn. Says Mr. Bovril. Smith. Henko Funfake says Ruan. That was Roof now. Nice step from Morne Funenberg as he makes his way forward a little bit further. Good spot tackle. It's a little bit glitchy at the moment, the coverage of this game. It seems like it's being filmed in the old school days. Who's winning the game? It's going to be close between these two sides. Lions coming as slight favourites. Now going for a kick in behind. Nicely controlled off the boot of Apele Fasi, who kicks it downfield. It's going to be a line out now for the Lions. About 35 metres out from the line. I think Cristiano Ronaldo will score first. Says Jack, he may do, just not in this game. If it's a draw, then you have to build everyone a house, Hamish. That would take a long time. And the Lions have had 2 draws out of their last 3 games. So the chances are actually relatively high that they have another draw. I want Jaden to score the first try, says Daryl there. Yeah, it's going to be an awkward one. I'll have to try and... I don't know how to do that without it taking ages to take Grant Williams' name off. Sadly, it's not as simple as just like hiding it. But now going off to the left-hand side here. Angelo Davids looping around the back. Morne Funenberg goes across to Darian Landsberg. That's a huge driving tackle on him by Lorenzo Julius. They did lose a few metres there in the process. The Lions, Morne Funenberg, a step round short side. Tackled by Thomas Dyer. Georgia is playing Spain as well at the moment. Yeah, I did see they were 7-3 up, the Georgians, but I haven't seen anything since then. Penalty goes the way of the Lions. That is Hanro Jacobs being penalised for that one. Is Ox injured again? I don't believe so. I think they're just resting him for this game. Same with Sia Kolesi, same with Grant Williams, even though the lineup says otherwise. Same with Andre Esterhazen. I want to try first 7 minutes. 21-9 to Georgia. Well, now I don't have to watch it. You've just told me the score. We have got, how many years will it take? What, to build? Currently, we've got 97 people watching, so 97 houses would probably take me till I'm dead, I would say, with how slow I build. It depends on how big the houses are that you want built. 33rd minute, says I am nutty. But now, chance here for Chris Smith. He's going to be lining up the post. He is normally pretty handy off the kicking tee. Isn't Super Rugby predictable? Not at all. Pretty much the opposite. We saw in the first round, I think it was 3 underdogs won. We saw the Moana Pacifica side beat the Fijian draw in Fiji, which doesn't happen too often. We saw the Hurricanes, they weren't in action actually. The Highlanders managed to beat the defending champions, the Crusaders, in round number 1. Once again, not supposed to happen, but it did. And then also, I believe the Waratahs were only slight favourites up against the Reds and came out absolutely firing and butchered them in round number 1 as well. So, yeah, it was anything but predictable. The Chiefs versus Blues went down to the wire with only 3 points separating them. So, yeah, if you try and predict those games, good luck, because there's just no way of guessing the right score. Razor is joining the Sharks next week as social media experts. Says Martin, afternoon everyone. Yako Williams to score first, says Jerome. And they have now got themselves the attacking chance here for the Sharks. And that halfway line looks like Jaden Hendrickson going back into the pocket to Apelele Fasi. That one's going to be taken well. Kick back downfield from Bronson Mills. He's actually got a really long boot. And that is a phenomenal kick. Almost turns into a 50-22 there for Bronson Mills. I think they're going to be checking this. Did it just go outside? An impossible Hamish. Mills to spill over the try line. Says Ruth. Okay, it is a 50-22. So a very good kick downfield from Bronson Mills. Is that for his break fasting? Is that, there's that Razor, I guess. And now line out here for PJ Borta. Oh. I don't know what just happened to Darian Lansbury there. It looked like his ankle tried to give way underneath him, but he should be all right. Asking for a little bit more space in the line out here from the referee. Already 5 minutes down in this contest, 3-0 in favour of the home team. PJ Borta throws it in nicely to Darian Lansbury, breaking off the back here. Big opportunity. Oh, Bronson Mills. He goes straight through, but he's dragged down just short. That is an absolutely brilliant tackle from Edward van der Merwe. And the ball's knocked on by Darian Lansbury. That was just a massive chance butchered by the home team. Massive chance. They had all the go forward and then just trying to pass it out to the side. Bronson Mills, that was a fantastic tackle made by Edward van der Merwe. Managed to stop him just out from the goal line. But sensational work from the defence of the Sharks just to force that pressure, but it should have been try time. The Lions there. Any updates on who will coach the All Blacks? Not really. They've headed to Japan to have a meeting with Dave Rennie, but it's looking like it's still probably at least 3 or so weeks away, unless they do speed along the process. Jamie Joseph has had a little bit of an opinion about the process, saying it's a pretty dumb one in terms of how long it takes. So they might even decide, because he said that they're going to get rid of him as a candidate. Hopefully not, though. It seems like he's the one that more Kiwis want. But yeah, it is a pretty tedious one. And it just makes you wonder, why would you sack a coach if you didn't have a plan of who was going to replace him? If it was going to take you like 2 months to finish the CV stage. This one's going to be rolled back. Jaden Hendrickson just out from his own 5-metre line. Does get that one into touch. And awesome, come on, spill over Mills. I don't lose the ball. There's Ruth. And Mpeku, let's go. There's Ruth there too. It is a very strange situation. Yeah, very strange. And I don't think we've seen a similar scenario across anywhere in the world for like rugby coaches. New Zealand Rugby butchered that, says Ruth. But yeah, whoever they sign, better hope that they do well. Because or else then, now they know, what was it, the last couple coaches for the ABs. Or Ian Foster, to be fair, did manage to finish his stint, but he wasn't really supposed to. They wanted him to leave earlier. But so far for the All Blacks, the last couple coaches have tried to be pretty much forced out the door. So you got to make sure you're winning all your games or you're in a bit of trouble. Knock on here from the Sharks. And we have got there, who does that, says Ruth. A little bit of early tempo being set here by the two sides. Currently 8 minutes into the game already. We have just had those 3 points from Chris Smith. Side of that, though, really the Lions should have had a try by now. It's a perfect chance to go over. Just a handling error at the last minute did let them down. We've got there, Ruth, my very pommy lady. Hello, you look stunning. You mean like her purple R looks stunning, this one? It does. It is a very nice font, to be fair. It's got a lovely shape to it. And New Zealand Rugby Power Play says, Yarn. Yeah, I think it's just they didn't know what they really wanted to do, but they felt like they had to do something. Possession at the moment, 73% in favour of the Lions and 95% for territory. So the Sharks hardly being inside of the Lions. Frankie Horn breaking off the back. Q1 Horn trying to go for that grubber in behind, but it's well blocked there by the Sharks, who look for a 50-22, but it's actually kicked out on the full. A little mistake from Edward van der Merwe there. Now brings another line-out chance for the Lions. Just seems... What are they saying here about JP Peterson? Okay, they're talking about how he is the fill-in coach. Appointed the official head coach of the Sharks now. So must be doing something right for this team. They have had some pretty decent results, though. To go 2 back-to-back up against the Stormers is certainly an impressive feat. Now, PJ Bota tackled around the halfway line, driven backwards, though, with some physicality from Mavaseri. Now, Morne van den Berg goes short side. A lot of space here to be able to run onto it for Angelo Davids. He's put the ball down, though. And that's another mistake. Oh, kick him behind from Apalele Fasi. There's going to be penalty advantage, or sorry, knock-on advantage. That ball's just going to keep on rolling. Goes just about into the in-goal area. Turned out to be a perfectly weighted kick. Now Bronson Mills kicking it for the sideline. And does get that ball into touch. The pressure now on the Lions. Just one handling error can completely change the whole game. And the Sharks now get themselves a little bit of territory. Lions straight, please, says Ruth. Yeah, just a few handling errors early on here from the Lions. Some of which are a little bit more crucial than others. Hamish, it's unfair that the Lions are fighting the Sharks on land. Totally unfair, Hamish. Well, it was supposed to possibly rain. So I guess that makes it a little bit better, right? If we see a little bit of rain falling at some stage. I think thunder strikes, maybe, or lightning strikes, or thunderstorms, or something was also on the forecast. Hopefully that stays away, though. I think we've had a game that we've covered that was taking place at Emirates Airline Park that was delayed due to lightning. I love the relationship JP Peterson has with the Sharks players. Here's Jerome there. Passed across to the left-hand side. Big attacking chance here for the Sharks. Apalele Fasi is tackled by Chris Smith. Jaden Hendricks, short ball to Lorenzo Julius. Oh, he wanted the offload, but couldn't quite link up with Dyer. And this time there's the knock-on from the Sharks. We have got there, see you every day, all day, don't be fooled. Yeah, outside of your window. And thanks, given you haven't seen me after a long hot hike in the sun. I'm frazzled. I look like biltong with extra spice. And come on, boys, says Ruth. Now 12 minutes. I think it's blown over. Okay, well, that's good news then. If it can avoid any sort of rain, that would be ideal because we've currently had about 5 handling errors in the first 12 minutes, and that's without moisture being involved in this game. So it's probably feeling a little bit of rust. It's been a while since I've been in action, the first week of February. Get the booze out and get hydrated, says Joe. Yeah, big old day of rugby today. We've got the 2 matches of the Six Nations around the corner, which is also going to be covered on the channel. Morne van den Berg about to feed this ball in for the Lions. 12 minutes in and still those lone points scored by Chris Smith. And we got another scrum reset. We get a fair few of those. Kevin, thanks. You're too kind. I must remember to close my curtains next time, says Ruth. With the Sharks, they haven't quite found their full rhythm, I would say, throughout this match as of yet. And that can sometimes just come to those adjustments. My uncle is supporting the Lions. But I suppose the Bulls, I support the Bulls, so I mean, I'm in rocking our place. I don't know who to support right now. You see, the Lions, they are slight favourites heading into this match and still are considered slight favourites with the fact that they lead by the 3 points. Now, a big run from Bronson Mills. Started off with a bit of a hiss and a roar in this contest, and there is the penalty now, and that will be in favour of the Sharks. Right, what is the mentality like from the Sharks team? Do they go for the corner or do they go for 3? I would love to see them go aggressive here. And I do actually think it's probably crucial because the Lions can tap over 3s for fun. Whereas the Sharks, if they get that bonus point going, can really boost them up. And that is exactly what they're going to do here. Kicking for the corner, Siamasuku gets it into touch about 5 metres out from the try line. Best opportunity now. Territory was 95% in favour of the Lions. Now, after a little bit more ball for the Sharks, I'd say it's probably still about 70% for the Lions. But the Sharks starting to work their way back into the game now. The Sharks had their Springboks. They win this game by 20 plus points. They are having to play a reserve squad, says Jack. Yeah, it's just the way that it worked out, and that's what happens when you reschedule a game too. Like, this game was supposed to be taking place, I believe, in November, I want to say it was. Now, moving forward here for the Sharks at the back. I think it's Fezenbata who's fallen over the line. The try is scored. Who is it that pops up with the ball? I want to say it was Mbata, but I could be wrong. In fact, yep, it is Fezenbata, his second try of the season. And good 3 says our underdog pick. And on the fence, with outcome of the game, my Stormers play the Lions next and go for the corner. Says Daryl there. And well, try, says Ruth. And there too, but yeah, just a rolling maul. Fezenbata at the back, waiting patiently for that chance to be able to go over the line. Makes the absolute most of it. And prop for the Sharks, here's Ruth. I'll see Masuku. First kick for him of the day. This one should be well within his kicking abilities. And brings it off the post and over. So a little bit closer to missing than he would have liked, but it is still 7 points to 3 in favour of the Sharks side. Great stuff, says Daryl. That early try for Mbata certainly puts the Sharks back into this match now. They just waited for their opportunity. He ended up almost falling sideways in Mbata, so he's actually done well to be able to roll back over and get that ball grounded. And we have got there Joe after 4 p.m, Chris and Vodka. And now 16 minutes into this contest. And nicely taken by Apalele Fasi. And go the Sharks, you are the best, says Clifton. Rolling this one back, Hendrickse. Let's go just to his big forwards. That time it is Mbata. It's another carry from inside. It was 22. Hendrickse looks to go high. Ryan Fenta almost able to get the charge down on it. Now under pressure. Nice take from Killian Peku. Under the high ball. The Lions now 25 metres out from the Sharks line. Damn, it's 1 AM over there. It certainly is. We've still got plenty more to come. The last game that we're covering will be finished at about 7:40 AM, somewhere around there, for Wales versus Scotland. Inco fun fake. The carry there. Someone's boot's gone flying. That scenario kicked him behind from Morne van den Berg. Steep bounce towards the sideline. Kept in by Apalele Fasi. Jane Hendricks hooking that one round into touch. We have there start a petition to get Hamish South Africa citizenship. The rugby services to the nation. Says Joe Munn. How many titles South Africa has at the URC today? So the Stormers won the inaugural season. I believe that's it. I think they have only got 1 title in the URC, South African teams. We've actually had a lot of different winners in the URC, which has been fantastic. I believe 4 different sides have won the competition. And go fun fake, just getting that boot back on. So that answers whose boot got thrown before. I do think England will beat Ireland at Twickenham. They'll have a decent chance. I never like giving a proper prediction because I know you used to bet on the game, so I feel like you may be still maybe doing that. But it is honestly a pick'em game. It could go either way for those 2 sides. We have good there, Cape Tonian. Definitely Saturday. Enjoy the benefits of watching Good looking Amish all afternoon, says Ruth. And currently 2:20 in South Africa, says Jerome for the time. Oh, little pop pass to Darian Landsberg, and they'll go back now for another penalty. Right. That is a big decision now. Right, Courtney O'Reilly's not happy, even though he started that. It's always the way. Atene Oosthuizen's just saying to the referee, look, he's the one who was going on me. I don't used to, I still do. Says Jack, but that game the odds are too low to get on. Says Jack, I told you all that the Sharks were going to win this. And yeah, again, the 3 points is the optimised choice for the Lions. I bet on the Sharks, says Rugby Ready. And the Bulls come second twice. Yeah, they were runner-ups in the first URC season, and then they also lost to Munster. In fact, they may have been runner-up 3 times. Or was it? It might have been Stormers Munster, in fact. But yeah, the Bulls have lost a few times in finals. I think they've lost both home finals, which of course is not a fun stat for anyone who is a Bulls supporter. Last year, it was Leinster Bulls in the final, and the Bulls lost. The year prior to that, it was Bulls Glasgow in the final. The Bulls lost. The year prior to that, it was Stormers Munster, and Munster won that. And then the season before that, the inaugural season, the Bulls lost in the final away from home. So the Bulls have been in 3 finals and have lost every single one of them. Then I see the team news and wasn't impressed. And now I am worrying, says Jack. The Sharks 5 plus 5.5. So they cannot lose by 6 or more. I'm definitely putting my money on the Irish, says Jerome. And this one's going to be kicked off now after that kick from Chris Smith has gone over, taken inside of the 22 by, would have been Ruan Finta. Crazy says they are an underdog pick. And when is the Varsity Cup in Curry? Varsity Cup's already started. I think that started last week. And then Curry Cup's still a few weeks away at least. It's normally after the URC season comes to a close. So you're looking at normally around, I think it's September, somewhere around there. One's going to be kicked downfield and into touch. What time do England play? They play in 1 hour, 50 minutes. So it's not that far away. We've got a 20-minute build-up for that game just because there's so much to talk about for that contest. We had a 15-minute build-up for this one and it just flew by. But there's so much rugby happening at the moment. Chiefs versus Bulls. Says our underdog pick. Our Wales will need a little more power. And so South Africa team's good at coming second. Seems that way, except for, well, to be fair, the Stormers did win the first one, though, up against the South African side. So theoretically, someone had to win, someone had to lose in that case. But, yeah, every final has involved a South African side. Now, step there, Lorenzo Julius, 22 metres out from the line. That was a knock-on the ground, I think, but it's going to be play on for just a little bit longer. Handro Jacobs sells the dummy, now looking to shift this one off to the left. Up in Lele Fasi, dragged down 20 metres from the line. I wouldn't mind that penalty advantage. All nice ball over the top to Jason Jenkins. Gets driven towards the sideline. The camera was a little bit shaky there, but they worked it out in the end. Now Vincent Tuchuka. He's smashed there, the skipper of the Sharks side. He's hoping to get back up to his feet. Yes, he is. Oh, that was illegal from Atene Oosthuizen. I'm not sure what he did there, but it was not what he was trying to do anyway. And the score's 67 or 6-7, says Carmen there. I lost your opening games for the Varsity Cup, says Cape Tonian. We've still got the updates coming from I Am Nutty. That Georgia have to win that game because once again they keep on saying they should be in the Six Nations, so they have to win the European one with a clean sweep to have a great argument in that case. Penalties conceded at the moment, 2-2 in this contest. So pretty even in that department. But 5 metres out from the line, I think they'll go rolling maul again. It worked effectively the first time. I would not be surprised if it works again here. Now ready to throw it in. Nicely taken. Different tactic there. This time off the rolling maul. Where's the ball? It's in touch by the looks of it. Or actually, I think Fezambata's trying to say that ball was actually in the field of play, but the ball is currently sitting just short of the try line. I honestly miss South Africa playing in Super Rugby, says Jerome. And the good news is the Club World Cup's only a couple years away, so we will get to see perhaps Super Rugby and URC sides go head-to-head. Yeah, just driven into touch there. Great defence from the Lions. The great Tommy before just had his birthday, the Natal Rugby Star. Or the Natal Rugby Star, sorry. And also steel ball someone, says Ruth. Yeah, that is the type of mistake that the Sharks, I think as soon as they went to the front, they needed to cut back infield rather than going towards the sideline. They just isolated the space that they had available. No one else going to wake them up, says the AI underdog pick. And Hurricanes played well. Was Barrett man of the match? I think man of the match may have either gone to Morby or Whinia Norfolk in the end. Now, line out throw for PJ Borta in a precious scenario here to get his line out right. Nicely taken by Landsberg, though. Goes back to Morne van den Berg. Fires it across to Ruan Finta. Tries to make some meterage. Now, it looks like the option at this stage will be the clearing kick for the Lions half, Morne van den Berg. Told to use it. It does clear the Lions. It's a good kick downfield. That's fine touch. Unbelievable. Rob Lowe also around somewhere. 23 minutes through. Still 1 point separating these two teams. I'd say second half, we're probably going to have more tries scored than the first. Both these teams will just try and find their rhythm. Get back into the swing of things. And then next week, 2 more South African derbies. We will be covering both of them on the channel, although we do have the break from the from the Six Nations. It is the bye week taking place next weekend. Or not straight throw there from the Sharks because there was just a slight contest from the Lions. Does mean that it becomes the scrum. And that's quite smart there from the Lions. I think they realised that it wasn't going the straightest, so they did chuck him up the middle. Deep breaths here for Fezambati. He's had a busy start to this game. He is also the lone try scorer. And this match, what happened to the Rebels? They disbanded. I don't think they quite had the budget to be able to keep on going. So 4 teams from Australia. So 11 in total now for Super Rugby. I was at the Blues Force game. What a crack, a great atmosphere. Plenty of South Africans who were great supporters of the Force. All in all, great game, says Bailey. And yeah, high scoring one in the end as well, which does always help. Quite breezy though by the looks of it on TV, was it, Bailey? Going off to the left-hand side, chance, yeah. Kieran Horn passes on the outside to Killian Peku. He's got the pace, goes for the chip in behind, bounce to the ball, goes straight to Francois Fenta, just manages to keep this ball in the field of play, and now to Renzo Julius, running it towards the 22. Are the Bulls playing? Know what the score is. So the Bulls are not playing, or at least they're not playing in a URC fixture. They have got their game next week up against the Sharks. But this is a game that was supposed to take place last year that got rescheduled. So the Bulls had already... Or have they? I think the Bulls may actually still have their game to catch up that they have to play up against the Stormers. Over number 9, Bok options, Reinach getting older by but a unit. Yeah, he's a player who really has got better with age, isn't he, Kobus Reinach? Today's Sharks are playing right. That is correct, yes. Currently 7 points to 6. They just have that narrow lead. But not by a massive amount, just the 1 point. Early days is the AI underdog pick. Penalties conceded. We've seen 3 of the last 5 going against the Lions here. Thrown in by Fezambata. That time it wasn't challenged by the Lions. See, if I knew that the opposition had a shaky line out, I'd be throwing someone up, even if it's a half little jump, just to have it always being contested. Now, Jaden Hendricks, almost charged down in the kick. Edward van der Merwe chasing after this one. Goes up for the ball alongside Killian Peku. Going to be knocked backwards by the Lions. Tight 2 says the AI underdog pick. Good power from Maviseri. Told to get out of that breakdown for the Sharks. Oh, that was almost half a chance, but it looks like Jason Jenkins was stuck in the breakdown, so they couldn't quite go for the steal. Morne van den Berg again will kick this one downfield. Finds the touchline. The touchline has been the best friend of both of these sides at this stage of the contest. You could say particularly the Lions because of driving the Sharks over the sideline early on, as well as that 50-22 for this Lions team from Bronson Mills. And someone like Ladies and Gents says Cape Tonian. Yeah, we've still got plenty more coming up today. Still 2 more live streams, including England versus Ireland in the Six Nations, followed by Wales versus Scotland. Hopefully will be 2 very impressive games. Relatively close to with a little bit of luck. Nicely taken by Jenkins. Now Jaden Hendricks Off to the left-hand side. Quick hands from the Sharks back line, but Lorenzo Julius just misses the pass on the outside to Edwald van der Merwe, who'll now go for the kick of his own. It's going to be rolling just out of the 22. 25 metres out from their own line here. The Lions have got themselves the line out. They thought about going quickly. They have decided against it now. To say the camera work isn't the normal that we would see in Johannesburg. I don't know whether or not, because it is a fill-in game from earlier on in the competition, whether they've gone less official with it, but it just seems very jumpy with the shots that they are going with. But now, ball's going to be thrown in by PJ Botha, and the Sharks doing exactly what I mentioned earlier on, just chucking a guy up, hoping for the chance of getting that turnover. Can you hit a 50-22 passing it back in the half? You can't in the URC. In the Super Rugby competition, you now can. That is one of the laws that they did change for this competition just this season in Super Rugby. But in URC, you can't. You have to be inside of your own half and can't take it back. But a drop ball there from Francois Venter slams the ground out of frustration as he wasn't really under pressure, just dropped it cold. It does bring another scrum feed now. 56 caps for Francois Venter. Now just waiting for handling to improve slightly. And take it easy, Lions. And cameraman had too many tequilas. Now scrum feed again for the Lions. Morne van den Berg gets the ball in. To the right, van den Berg finds Chris Smith. It wasn't the best pass, a little bit low, but it is good hands. Out wide for Kieran Horn. Now passes out to Angelo Davids. He's got a lot of pace. But they managed to chop him down low. Upper left Bassi getting the ankle. Oh, Jaden Hendricks. So that was a relatively cynical penalty. He might find himself going to the bin here. Yes, he does. Jaden Hendricks are off the field now for 10 minutes. Maybe shot the vodka early, says Rugby Ready. You can see it there, the frustration for Hendricks and knowing that that was a big mistake to make. Now puts his side under that little bit more pressure. And we'll have 10 minutes off the field. I swear the last game we covered with Jaden Hendricks playing, he also got a yellow. Seems to be quite a popular trend for that man, but kicked into the corner here by the Lions. Seen just the one try so far. We have got there Amish. Outcome when I drink alcoholic. When I drink fantastic. Nobody calls me fantastic. What? What did you mean to say there, Kevin? I assume you meant to say the first part, how come when I drink alcohol I get called an alcoholic? But then what's fantastic? Is that like a drink of some sort? It's going to be a great run forward from the Lions. And that looks like a try. Yes, it is. Got themselves another one down just off the back. It's actually Clubber Kanye who has popped up with the try. Oh, when I drink Fanta, no one calls me fantastic. Yes, either they got lost a little bit in terms of the autocorrect, I think, did you a bit dirty. But yeah, Clubber Kanye breaking off the back and gets it down over the line for the Lions here. And it's now their first try of the contest too. It's now starting to get cloudy in South Africa and it's going to rain. Is it going to rain? So expect down a load of handling errors. This game in Pretoria, says Kyle. Like I said, we've already had quite a few handling errors throughout this game from both sides, so hopefully we don't have too many more. That kick from Chris Smith has gone over, though. Makes the score now 13 points to 7. So, straight away, we've seen that yellow card of Jaden Hendricks having an impact on this game. That's a very good finish, though, from Clubber Kanye. Seems like both sides are loving the rolling mauls today. Fantastic is about today. Is about to say fantastic, says Kyle. 14 minutes to 8.5 minutes ago. Yeah, the worst thing to do when you have got a yellow card is concede early because you still got a long way before you get back to the 15. Should have been a red for the Lions, not a yellow for the Sharks, says Rugby Ready. A red for the Lions. Was there something in the breakdown that I missed, like a neck roll or something? That you said would be a red card? Now, Morne Vandenberg. Oh, little cheeky kick in behind. Didn't go for a massive amount of distance on a loose ball. Up a little fussy. Not able to take it cleanly, but Kelly and Peku picking it up well just in from the far touchline. Pull away now. Let's get another quick fire try, Lions. Here's Roof now back across. Bronson Mills. 2-man tackle on him on the halfway line. Morne Vandenberg. Another kick in behind. There is a massive amount of space there. And the ball curling towards the sideline. Great hands from Kelly and Peku to be able to pick it up. Offloads to Morne Vandenberg. That was classy from the winger, and the try for Vandenberg now. That's 2 tries in 3 minutes off the Jaden Hendrickse yellow card. That's not good. Where in South Africa is this being played? Johannesburg as a location for this one. The home game for the Lions. And Tony looked more relaxed than Rassi last year. Just my observation of the coach's box says they are a underdog pick. And Ellis Park, Johannesburg. Says Kerry there. Nice morning, says Cape Tonian. But yeah, just full commitment there from Kelly and Peku in the slide. It seemed like Sia Masuku didn't really want to have to dive on that ball. And just really great stuff again here from the Lions. Currently leading now by the 11 points. And to work their way towards that bonus point. They would still need 2 more tries to be able to receive it, but definitely a step in the right direction. Just from the last 3 minutes of this game, the momentum has completely shifted in this match. And hello everyone, just came in. Why are the Sharks so gassed? Are the Lions that good today? Is so incredible? I think the Lions, they've been pretty handy. They dominated the territory and position early on in this game. Sharks have had a couple decent attacks, but the handling errors, they've been butchering it big time in that regard. Actually, both teams have had their fair share of handling problems, but I think the Lions have been that little bit more clinical. What did Jaden do to get carded? I think he was joining the breakdown from the wrong side. I think he was offside and joining incorrectly, and it was off a line break as well. So I think that's why they ended up giving it. And 2 tries in 5 minutes, says Daryl. Yeah, still 5 minutes left of that yellow card, and the Lions don't look done yet. Hendrickse costing the Sharks. Yeah, his yellow has certainly impacted them. They would have preferred, I know that I've got Grant Williams accidentally in the starting lineup. They would have preferred him out there on the field, I'm sure, Williams. Now, Apelele Fasi around the halfway line. Fires it across to Sia Masuku. Extreme, my brother's name is Kevin. So your name's not Kevin, I guess. Unless you're both named Kevin, that would be a little bit of a tricky one. If you get called for, then you wouldn't know who's getting called out to. Oh, pick and go there from Vincent Tuchuka. Getting some forward momentum. 2 quick fire tries from Morne Vandenberg and also from Klabakanye. I see Masuku, he's decided to send this one extremely high. Slapped back by Edward van der Merwe. We've got to remember, altitude, though, can be a brutal thing. That was almost a chance for Morne Vandenberg to run through and get himself another try. He's got that pressure that he just brings when the ball's bouncing awkwardly. Hi all and good morning, says Robert. Welcome in. You are doing extremely well. 5 minutes remaining in this first half. 4 minutes left of the yellow card of Jaden Hendrickse, I should say. This game's gone quick. It's actually run relatively smoothly too, to be fair to it. Currently, we've had 35 minutes and about maybe 40 minutes of rugby, or in terms of 40 minutes of time, which is relatively handy. A chance here for the Sharks. My brother's name is Kevin Kyle Julius. Okay. And Robert's got the smiley face in there too. Now rolling maul. Oh, they're losing a lot of meters. Backwards once is a call from the referee. Sia Masuku goes off the back, gives it to Lorenzo Julius. And again, the Sharks are just putting themselves under pressure. The ball is stolen by the Lions. There might have been a knock-on the ground. Yes, there was. But again, it's the Sharks shooting themselves in the foot. Lost control of that Enko fun fake. Was able to get onto it. Well, we see there the pressure. Is it just me, or was that completely illegal from Bronson Mills? With the fact that he joined the breakdown from the wrong side and didn't go through the gate to be able to steal it on the ground. Is that just me, or was that not completely, like, should have been a penalty every day of the week? I want to say Sharks are coming back because there's 40 minutes left. Looks like Fezambata just getting a bit of attention to his ankle, which is already extremely strapped. And Mills O'Naughty says Ruth, and hello, says BTW Panzer, welcome in. And damn, this might be a boring game. Well, we've had 3 tries in the last little while. A little bit of suspense with the Jaden Hendricks a yellow card there too. That was the yellow card for ironically illegally joining the breakdown, which we just saw Bronson Mills do. But yeah, Jaden Hendricks was the last tackle or last tackler too, so it did make it much worse. Now just the 4 minutes remaining in this half. They are just trying to sort out the ankle. There's nothing bad about this game, says Ruth. Scrum feed here for the Sharks. Still 5 metres out from their own line, so it will mean that more than likely a kick is coming here. And actually, I want to see 5 tries in the second, says the AI underdog pick. 5 tries just in the second half, or 5 tries in general? Because 5 tries in the second half is optimistic, but also at the same time, it's doable. I've got the 3 in the first 40 minutes. All right, ball's gone in. That might almost... I think they missed the hook initially, but then got the push going there for the Sharks, and they get themselves the penalty for it kind of curving around in general. And so do I from the Sharks, says Daryl. Now Sia Masuku will be able to kick this one into touch. So another 2 minutes left of Hendricks' yellow. I need it, says Daryl. Yeah, both of these sides, they will be chasing the bonus point. 4 tries will get them there. But it is a good scrum there from the Sharks. Under pressure, just out from their goal line. Go with the big old push. 3 more tries this half. It's doable. Maybe not this half. We've got 2.5 minutes remaining. We'll take 1 try, though, before halftime break. I've not seen a hooker do his job in a scrum for such a long time that I even forgot it was a requirement. So, yeah, they actually had to work hard to get that hook, Fezambata, because I think they initially missed it. And my iPhone brothers, and one of them is given, and one of the music giving, says Kyle. Now carry forward from Thomas Dyer, wearing number 8 in this game. Oh, looks like there might be an injury here. One of the Lions players. Looks like Ruan Fenta's not feeling too flash. Looks like he took the head knock. Yeah, just going to be checking on him now. That's probably a good call from the referee. I think they were going to try and do the box kick. Right, the medic's just holding his neck for now. I think it's some sort of head knock. Maybe a crunching one in the breakdown. For the Lions, maybe, says Daryl. And back again, says Padza. We're going to see the replay now. What does he do? Okay, there was nothing clear and obvious there. It looks like maybe caught like a boot, maybe to the side of the head. Fenta is on. He's currently down at this stage. They are just doing a few assessments of him to make sure that he can at least stand up and walk off the field himself. It's going to be Klakane, I should say, makes his way onto the field. That is for Ruan Fenta, whose day is now done. I'm just talking about the Junior World Cup winner for Klakane. A bright future for the Box in the future too. Now 50 seconds left on the clock. 50 seconds on the Jaden Hendricks yellow card clock, that is. Okay, they're just not sure if it's a permanent replacement for him or whether he's just going off for the HIA. I've only left the field once in my 16 years. There's BTW Padza. And good replacement, says Daryl. Yeah, I mean, Klakane, he is a very dangerous player. He's got that size, got the power. Has he got an impact off the bench here for this Lions team. I don't understand why Stormers loses twice to the Sharks. And now the Lions is eating sushi. I sometimes wonder if there is a snake in the grass. Says Ruan there. Yeah, it's crazy to see how different 1 week can be to the next, isn't it? You know, because the double over the Stormers is something that I don't think anyone was backing them to be able to do. And, you know, to then come into this game, I guess it's just because of a bit of rust and a few changes in their lineup too. Is Shark team selection, the way they playing indicate they're not interested in URC, just Champions League, says Andrew. Not necessarily. I think there's just that Springbok stand down period. What kind of scrum feed is that? It was a bit of a rough one, wasn't it? It ended up actually, it hit the flanker's hand, I think, with how wonky he fed it in. That Mavasiri almost had to grab it. Now 1 minute remained. Jaden Hendrickse back out on the field, but it was a costly yellow card from him. 2 tries, Klakane, as well as Morne Vandenberg scoring. Just 50 seconds left. 13 down for the Sharks. And JP got the job now. We can lose, says Daryl. Yeah, first game since becoming the official coach for JP Peterson. Probably hasn't quite gone the way that he would have liked for this first half as of yet. But Hendrickse should be fresh after a spell passing away to the left-hand side. Up a Lelefasi. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. He's gone for the kick in behind when the side finally got themselves a little bit of possession. Is that taken back by Kewan Horn? Sounds like it is. So they have got a bit of a lifeline there, the Sharks. Can't remember, but I took a blow at bottom of the rib cage. I don't know if I did break anything, though. Yeah, so actually foot just touches the line there for Kewan Horn. So he will be rewarded as a 50-22 there for the Sharks. I like him, says Daryl. Oh, no, they haven't actually looked at it. So because of that, it means that it is still going to be the Sharks line-out, but where Kewan Horn kicked the ball down to, rather than back where it could have been. Players ready for the halftime break, but they have to stay out there for just that little bit longer. Okay, they're actually going for the correct restart, which will mean that Kewan Horn, the foot was in touch. There was contact with the line. It seemed like they were going to move on from it, but for Kewan Horn, the boot, I believe, does touch the sideline. Maybe. And we have got there. Hi, Hamish. I came to give you a like. Say hi out of respect. Says Cool Story Sharks. Well, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Or they might almost say that he's benefit of the doubt here. The boot definitely is on the line eventually, though. The attitude always gets to the coastal team, says Sven. So, yeah, it's a 50-22 now awarded to the Sharks team, and they get the attacking opportunity before the halftime break. Line out here now. They need something big to happen. They cannot afford to go into touch here. Corne Ral with the carry. Forced sideways. Now Jaden Hendrickse goes across to Jason Jenkins. And come on, the Sharks do it for JP. Says so good run from Lorenzo Julius. Gets the 10 metres out. Jaden Hendrickse. Short ball to Francois Fenter. He sits down. I think it was Kelly and Peku, but there's a knock on. And that's going to be the end of the half. Okay, Francois Fenter feels he was hit with a high shot, and I think they may check this. Neither side has made their way off the field as of yet. Okay, referee just telling both sides to calm down. Both are ready to go into the sheds, but I think they are going to have this one checked to see the collision between Francois Fenter and one of the Lions forwards. A nice lead. I've had a pretty bad injury, though. Says BTW, and also Kit Kat says Daryl. We're going to see the replay now. Okay, it's not that collision for Lorenzo Julius. It is this next phase now when Francois Fenter has the carry. Yeah, it's upright from Bronson Mills. In fact, was the man who took the hard shot. iPad really is lagging. A delay when I type, says Pedza. Yeah, it is head on head. Now, there probably wasn't a massive amount of space that Bronson Mills could have gone from there, but he was still upright, whereas Williams, he's being rested, even though the lineup says otherwise. But no, Jaden Hendricks has been out there, and then off, and then back on. All right, it's head on head. This is probably going to be a yellow card for Bronson Mills. The worst thing is he took a teammate's knee to the back of the head as well. RF School says the underdog pick. I blame Hamish for it, says BTW Pad. So I will mention this is going to make this first half just that little bit longer too. With the fact that they will have time for the Sharks more than likely to try and go for one last attack. Right, they are saying clear head contact. So the TMO is still in charge of trying to decide whether or not this is worthy of a yellow. Okay, it meets the yellow card threshold. It gets brought down to yellow because he was passive in that situation. Okay, they're all happy. Bronson Mills is going to be off the field. Where is 6 Sharks from? Tino Tenda Maviseri. Is he Zimbabwean? Maybe? Okay, meets the yellow card threshold. So he will be off the field now for 10 minutes, and the Sharks get themselves the penalty. TMO should have kicked into touch, says Daryl. All right, and I do see that Sia Masuku actually has the kicking tee. I don't like that from the Sharks one bit here. I feel like, yes, they want to go into halftime, but at the same time, you're down by, even if this kick goes over, you're down by 10. You know, but I guess it's probably saving energy for later on. It is played at altitude, but is it too passive of a mindset here from the Sharks? Is that when you look to go for a scrum, get that ball out the back and have less men that you have to try and get through because of Bronson Mills not being on the park? Probably needs an HIA too, Bronson Mills, from the way that he knocked his head, but Sia Masuku strikes this one. It does go over. They're obviously all keen on that halftime break. Now 10 points to 20 at halftime. And when was the last rugby game where no one got hurt? I don't know if we've had one. To be honest, I think you always end up with at least one injury out there, and got him down and at the 40. Mouth as well. Hey, Hamish, you have Jordan twice in the Sharks 23 graphic. It wouldn't surprise me. Mainly because of the fact that Jordan Hendrickson was supposed to be... Jaden Hendrickson was supposed to be in there. Or there, depending on, I think it's all reversed. So yeah, Sia Masuku's the man who's ended up sneaking through. But Grant Williams, also fun fact, isn't playing in this game. Yeah, he is the starting 9 in terms of the graphic. It is a contact sport after all, says Daryl. And 2010 going to the break with basically 10 minutes with one man advantage to fire in the second half. Says Badzer. And yeah, it either works or it doesn't. And we'll have to wait and see which... this is a weird camera angle. I don't think this camera is supposed to be the one that's working. But currently it's just filming a lady's backside. So I'm not sure whether or not that was on purpose. I hope it wasn't. There you go. The Sharks, here's Daryl. I know they're just trying to set up for the halftime camera show, but they got the wrong camera on. By the looks of it, they're just doing a little bit of makeup on some of the guys. Getting them ready for the halftime chat. And go Zimbabwe cricket. Yeah, they have been quite the story of that T20 World Cup, haven't they? And 5 tries for me, says the AA underdog pick. And also there you go Zimbabwe. And it is a contact sport after all. Yeah, if you go 80 minutes without someone getting hurt when these guys are throwing fridges at each other, like, you've probably done quite well. As a whole. Second half, not a mile away from starting up. Mate, that's for sure a red, says Muhammad. Even though he was the second man in the tackle, Muhammad. I know that sometimes because he was passive, that was why they ruled it as a yellow rather than a red card. No one gets hurt in cricket. That's a lie. Someone died playing cricket, fun fact. Well, it's not really a fun fact. It's actually a pretty morbid fact. But yeah, you actually get quite a few concussions in cricket, unfortunately. And also just injuries in general from getting hit with the ball, broken arms and all sorts. I might win the T20, says Splash TV. Who's got the better bench, says Jack. I would say probably I'd give the advantage off the bench to the Sharks. Although there's some pretty handy players off the bench for the Lions as well here. I was going to say that, says Daryl. And Grant Williams got a red for almost the same thing about 3 years ago. Says Mohammed, although the laws have changed a little bit in 3 years. Of course, they love changing them every single season. But Yeah, it's one of those ones. It would probably be a harsh red, but at the same time, they might decide to go that way. They've also maybe looked at just a yellow, and people would also say, yeah, it's probably not a bad call either. Golf is the most deadly sport, says Finn. I thought it was bowls because of the amount of people who die playing bowls, mainly because of the average age. We have there Grant Williams got a red. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And they have shin pads. And better to take the 3, close the lead, instead of wasting time on a yellow and not getting points. Says Padza. Yeah, as long as they don't do what the Highlanders did and have all the attack and do nothing with it. Did they give a red card yet? No, just the yellow at this stage. And golf cart, says Sven. And also we have got there, I can't remember the player, that was delivered a fatal ball to the neck. A helmet manufacturer's altered design after incident, says Capetonian. I assume you're talking cricket, so that was Phil Hughes. He did pass away. And we have got there, swimming is the most dangerous sport, especially if you can't swim, says Jack. But then if you can't swim, is it still swimming? Or is it just called drowning? Probably a 50-50. Hamish is correct. Bowls are statistically the most dangerous sport in the world, says Big Rig. And listening to what's been said, the Sharks are in the deep end. Due to the level of injuries and deaths, that's what happens when half the people playing it are over 75. And Tight Game says the AI underdog. And who got the card? It was Bronson Mills, the number 12 for the Lions. Sharks are on a roll since JP Peterson. Says Benjamin. Yeah, so they definitely don't want that roll to end. Who got the card? Once again, it is Bronson Mills to get himself the yellow card. And then also Jaden Hendrickson got the yellow card for the Sharks. Dungeon is a 75% death trap. Dungeon is a 75%. What is dungeon? And surfing in the ocean, great whites can eat you, says Ruth. And who do you have for Ireland, England? I'm a bit undecided, to be honest. It's one of those games that both sides want to really fire up. And whoever wins that game, I believe, gets second in the Six Nations. So there's actually quite a bit on the line for the two teams too. What do you have for breakfast? I haven't had breakfast yet. It's currently 1:57 a.m. here in Kiwi land. Yesterday's breakfast, I think, was an up and go, though. But that was a long time ago. That was like, we're talking 18 hours, maybe 19. Just off Seal Island. And a big wave spot, says Daryl. And it's Dungeons Hoyt Bay's big surf. Yeah, just showing some of the highlights of this first half too. Morne Vandenberg did score the second try of the match for this Lions team. We did also see the try just beforehand from Azanati Klabakanye. But it's all about what you do now in the early stages of the second half if you are the Sharks. Because they have the man advantage. We're in a good position on the field, taking the 3 at the end of the half. We'll go like that. We'll go like that as well. There we go. And we have got there, yes, says Daryl. And what time is the Scotland game? Scotland game is kicking off in 3 hours, 10 minutes time, I believe. Wait, no, I'm lying. I think it's later than that. It might actually be 3 hours, 40 minutes time, in fact, for that Scottish-Wales game. Which is actually, it feels like it should be further away. Because theoretically, we've still got Ireland versus England to take place before that. But it's actually getting quite close as a whole. Daryl, have you surfed there, says Ruth. And Kieran Horn needs a Springbok cap, says Benjamin. And just showing that highlight try again from Vandenberg. We did see the early try, though, from the Sharks. They have scored 1 in this game. It was Fezembata who manages to cross the try line early. That was off the rolling maul. So 2 out of the 3 tries so far we have seen have come from rolling mauls. Maybe something that both sides could look at using more in the second half to give them a decent chance. England will lose by 40, says Mohadeen. 40 points at home up against the Irish would definitely not go well for England. And no surfed everywhere else in Cape Town, says Daryl. See, I tried wake surfing over New Year's, and I was terrible at it. I found myself in a situation where I couldn't quite get up, so I'd sit there and just have water flying straight in and stretching the groin out. And then every time I fell off, my pants would fall off, unfortunately. So that was an experience. 4 hours till the Scotland game, says Kerry. Is it that far? Oh, yeah, 3 hours 40, yeah. So not miles away, which is great news. 5:40 a.m. New Zealand time when that one's going to be starting up. We have got their favourite spot was Llandudno. I've probably butchered that. 1 hour for the England game, says Kerry. I'm joining the army on the 1st of March, says Mohadeen. I see Sebastian de Klerk playing for the 2027 Rugby World Cup, just a feeling. And they'd never be able to show their faces again, says Rugby Ready. Isn't learning to stand up on the board the first lesson of surfing? Yeah, except they didn't tell me how to do it. Pretty much we were out on a boat, and it was pretty much like wake surfing. There was no lesson. There was no video. It was just, Hamish, get off the back of the boat. We're going to try wake surfing. So I said, all right, that sounds like a good idea. Without any experience whatsoever in snowboarding or skateboarding or any boarding of that sort. And yeah, my pants just kept on getting ripped off. But luckily the boat was far enough ahead, no one saw anything. Did you think Andre Pollard will never play again? No, he'll be playing very soon. We suck, hey? Says Sash, a favourite player from each hemisphere. Oh, that's tricky. I can tell you my favourite player from each of these teams, if that makes it easier, just because I'm way too indecisive. I wonder what Eben will be back for the Sharks, or when he'll be back. I think he's not a mile away. Just a bit more time. Hello, everyone, says Annie. And must play in the frames. First wakeboarding was also fun. Make it look good the first time, says the AA underdog pick, and Eben will be back in time for the box season. One time my pants got caught on a truck at the start of my shift and tore badly. I did my whole shift with a massive tear in my pants. I'm going to Edinburgh Sharks, 24th of April, and Edinburgh, Scotland. Nice. I think that's... How many games away is that? That's probably about 5 games away in the URC. I know that these two sides are going to be playing throughout March. They've only got the 2 matches each, and then also the game next week for the teams. The Lions will be playing up against the Stormers, and the Bulls will be playing up against the Sharks. So those are 2 games to keep an eye out for in the relatively near future. But second half close. Get him back underway here. He's due back by then, says Curie. And Hamish, I'm sorry I missed that picture of no shorts. And bloody lazy defence, says Titanium. Who's your favourite player for the Springboks? Ooh. It's a good question. Who would I pick as my favourite? I like Malcolm Marks. It's probably a bit of a boring answer, but I like what he does out there on the field in terms of the breakdown work and whatnot. Busy man. Can be an impact player off the bench or in the starting lineup. So I'll probably go with him. We have got there, do you think any of the South African province teams can beat the All Blacks? They've probably got a decent chance, to be fair, because I don't think the All Blacks will be throwing out their best lineups in that contest. So it will pretty much be Super Rugby versus URC in those games. We have got there Peter Steph Tatoy. Oh yeah, I do like Peter Steph Tatoy as well. I actually forgot about him just due to the fact that he's going to be out this year with injury, or at least for the early stages. Fussy needs to step up, says Finn. Yeah, they have got the man advantage for the early stages of the second half here, the Sharks. So this is when they have to do the damage. If they don't score a try throughout this 10-minute period, I honestly don't think they'll win this game. And we have got there, do you think... Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And why is it called a wakeboard? Because you surf the wake. It's pretty much the main gist of it. And the Dirt Trackers team, says Daryl. But second half, 40 minutes remaining in this contest. And it's kicked off now by Kyoan Horn. Get us underway. That one's gone high. And taken inside of the 22 by Apalele Pasi. Yes, Peter might be back in July, Rassi said. Says Mahadin and Dupont. Says Ruth. On side of their own 22 here, the Sharks. Low chop and tackle on Fezambata by Darian Landsberg. Now rolling this one back. Tied by Jaden Hendricks. Come on the Lions. Says Bruce. Oh, that's a tackle in the air from Edward van der Merwe, so that the penalty will be awarded to the Lions there. And also over there, Wake after the boat, who's my favourite player. Used to be Andre Pollard before you started bad-mouthing him every week. I'm not sure who it is now, though. I was at Murrayfield Stadium last week. Scotland were amazing against England. Says Kerry. Yeah, it was quite the performance from the Scots, although 5 of the last 6 they have beaten England. So, once again, people were surprised, but I feel like it shouldn't have been. Sharks honestly need a win, says Terry. Yeah, and if they aren't able to win, they at least need some bonus points. Both of these sides just outside of the top 8, the way that it currently sits. That's the way that the standings are just currently. We need to throw this one in. There's going to be PJ Bota. Well taken. I'm breaking away to the right. Big aggressive carry forward. Now, oh, that's a very nice run. Beautiful offload too from the Lions, who sit only the 10 metres out from the Sharks line. Azanati Klabakanya going off to Oosterhuizen. Fires it out the back. Hinko Funvake with a good old fend on Vincent Tachuka. If the Lions score now, that is a brutal kick in the face for the Sharks side after turning down a chance of scoring right at the end of the first half, instead taking the 3. They might find themselves down by even more points. Now, Klabakanye. Cross kick coming here from Chris Smith. He's gone extremely high for that one. That's going to... Oh, that's a deliberate knock on from Upper Lelefasi. And tell you what, this could actually be a penalty try. They were under penalty advantage. Fassi looked like he had no intentions of catching that ball. He just pretty much slapped it out of the grasp, or at least far enough away so that the Lions couldn't take it. Who do you think is going to win between Ireland and England? I think it's going to be close. Within 7 either way, is what I'd say. Can't Lions kick it over? If you were the coach, which age group would you keen to source from? If you were coach, wait, so you're saying what age group would I coach, or which age group would I take players from? The yellow card on Bronson Mills is a joke. Watching in real time, never got a chance to form a tackle. Not even Superman would have had time to react. Get the stuff out of rugby, not blaming the ref. Says Albert. And also we've got there as a red card for the Lions. It sounds like their yellow is staying a yellow just for now. Still 8 minutes remaining on that card though, so still a fair amount of time. But normally by about the 5-minute mark, they've made the decision of whether or not it will be upgraded. Short side here for the Lions. Has to keep the ball in the field of play for Ruan Finta. What about passing on the outside of PJ Bota, but he would have been for sure driven into touch Darian Landsberg. Now stop short. And now going off to the right. Lions another chance. Ruan Finta just half an inch from going over the try line. Now Morne Vandenberg. Oh, he tried to go for the jump over the top and he is shut down quickly by Fezambata. There are some big players right next to the breakdown who want to score the try, but it will be Mahashi who scores it. And now the Lions, while down to 14, have managed to extend their lead. I've been making burger patties for the dogs as well for tomorrow's big braai. I thought you wouldn't, you'd want to know that. Says Bruce. And also the Cactonian couldn't agree. Or sorry, could agree, says Ruth. And there as well. But it is Seba Mahashi who does score that try. He was just short. Initially the Lions pack. PJ Bota it was. And then just continuing to use phases here. And got over the line. Australia out of the T20 World Cup. They certainly are. Which was probably the shock of the tournament, to be fair. Now Chris Smith, he's sitting 4 from 4 today. Going to extend this lead even more here for the Lions. I ref a bit one-eyed, says Sash. And Sharks should have gone for the try in the first half. Sharks are going back to their old ways. Not backing themselves. I 100% agree. It reminded me of 2 seasons ago when they were down near the bottom of the table And even in games where they needed a bonus point, they were willing to just take a win. And it just seemed like the wrong mentality. They had to go for it, in my opinion, right at the end of that first half. And because they haven't, they now find themselves down by 17. And also, now they're kicking it back into the Lions half. So, outcome on the foul play. I'm dead serious. I'll rewatch that tackle. The young player should get a card, says Albert. Okay, there's mitigation. It's just going to be a yellow card here for Bronson Mills, so he will be able to return in about 6 minutes' time. He's got a big smile on his face. You know why? Because during the period that he has been off the field, his side have scored more points than the opposition. And if the Aussies dominated England in the Ashes, I think got booted out of the T20 World Cup like nothing. How bad are England? Says Rugby Ready. I think New Zealand and South Africa cricket. Who do you think will win? Well, I mean, South Africa won in the group stage, so you'd have to say them for now. But I don't know whether or not those two sides will find each other up against. Maybe in the semi-final they can play. Oh, nice take from Apalele Fassi again. I'm still fighting for the ball. Penalty advantage against Morne van den Berg. And he got a 20-minute break. Says Mike there too. Now, Edward van der Merwe goes away to Jaco Williams. So advantage in favour of the Sharks team. Edward van der Merwe, it turns into a maul. So the referee will go back for the initial penalty. Ben Stokes was dismal. And it should have been a PM for Timo Steele. And crazy that they thinking they're all away when they have two men up. And German guys aren't the smartest, says Sush. Now, it looks like this is now another choice. They decide to kick for the corner this time with Sia Masuku. It was close to going dead, but I think it has gone just in the field of play. So a 5-metre line out now for the Sharks team. They are down by 2 tries and some. They need to have a quick fire response here. Morne van den Berg just ended up rolling onto the wrong side of that one. Right, the clock is off again here. Not 100% sure why. South Africa vs Zimbabwe, T20 final would be amazing. Wishful thinking. I think they play in the group stage, don't they? So we get to see it once. Then they will play again in the final if they were to go that far. In fact, when do they play? I'm going to have a quick look. I think that T20 between New Zealand and Pakistan is almost underway, or at least it must be close to starting up. It's supposed to start at 2:30. Rain delay. Oh, rain delay. That's not good. Oh, what's also not good is the fact that I forgot there was a game of rugby going on. Mavi Seri scores. And, yep, he is Zimbabwean for Mavi Seri, but scores the try that gets the Sharks back into this game. His second career try. Are you Kiwi? I am indeed, yes. So it is currently 2:15 a.m. here in New Zealand. Is Evan still banned? He is, but he is not a mile away from coming back. But a good bit of work from Mavi Seri. Yeah, toss delayed for New Zealand versus Pakistan, which will be quite an interesting one. But what I was looking for is when South Africa play West Indies on the Wednesday, and they play Zimbabwe on the Sunday at 10:30 p.m. That may not overlap with anything next week. So we might actually be able to cover that game. Why is your name Kiwi? Because that's something that's used to refer to New Zealanders. And that's better, says Daryl. Yeah, nicely done by Mavi Seri. Once again, that rolling maul. It's been beneficial all throughout this game, although that kick has missed. So it keeps the score at 27 points to 15. Thank you, Ali. Says Sash. Oh, they're just saying there that with Zimbabwe being in that Rugby World Cup, he has a decent chance of getting to play for them, Mavi Seri. Who's South Africa cricket playing tomorrow? They are playing tomorrow up against... I'll find it because I've actually forgotten. They've got India tomorrow. Big game. Evan is going to come back ripped. Says Splash TV on Rugby Game and Motion Amish. I thought I'd remind you. Says Bruce. Vincent Koch has made his way onto the field. 49 minutes through in this matchup. Currently 12 points separating the teams. I see Edwin Swart is also on. That is for Fezembata. And starting to spit here. So it could be raining at Ellis Park, says Daryl. Line out throw in from PJ Bota. Do you think India will lose? They are favourites heading into that game, so they should win, but you just never know. Oh, nice offload there. Kicked him behind. That one's going to keep on rolling. It goes just about in the in-goal area. I think Apalele Fasi actually had to play that in the field of play rather than in the in-goal. Now, big, wide lobby pass over the top. Kieran Horn looks to chip this one in behind. Good chase coming on the wing from Killian Beku. Oh, that was optimistic from Sia Masuku. I swear he was in touch there, but they are going to say it is play on again. Referees getting involved in the tackling. And Johannesburg says Ruth. And we have got there 2035. South Africa says Ali. The AI. And we've got there as well. How can you call that forward and not the last pass from the Lions? I thought Masuku was out. Yeah, he was. Or was he? Actually, maybe somehow he's kept himself in the field of play here. They're going to show it from another angle. I think he's kept that almost in. Marginally. It's very close though, and easily they could rule it as either way. Okay, they're saying that the Lions would prefer the scrum anyway. I pity the ref didn't get the ball. It's between the posts there, says Big Rig. And Justin touch, says Albert. Now it is going to be the scrum in the middle of the field. Still 30 more minutes remaining in this contest. It's going to be a 2-hour game by the looks of it, so we might have to change our scheduled start time of that Six Nations Ireland versus England match by 5 minutes delayed. Just to make sure that we got enough time. We go 2:55 a.m. here in New Zealand, so that is in around 40-ish minutes time, just under that, 38 minutes, which I'd like to think they would get through this game before that stage. Oh, free kick. Awarded here to the Lions. Morne van den Berg decides to take the quick tap. Tackled by Vincent Tichuka. There's no advantage, and that's for not being back 10. So this might be a little bit of trouble here for the Lions. For the Sharks once more. What time is the England game? It has taken place in only 50 minutes time. Oh, big charge down. Morne van den Berg gets the kick back. Does decide to take it quickly. Morne van den Berg snipes towards the line. Oh, he wasn't on the mark. They do have to go back for that one. The chances of New Zealand-Pakistan playing. The rain prediction is 90% of rain. Yeah, they've actually almost ruled that one out by the looks of it. Unfortunately, the rain has returned and the covers have been put back on. The whole ground is set to be covered, which wasn't the case earlier. So yeah, that's not good. That seems like maybe they're not going to get to play. Now going off to the right-hand side. Close there for the Lions. They got it down, just 1 metre out. Morne van den Berg looking off to the right. Chris Smith pops it in behind to Ruan Fenta. And he goes over. The try scored by the Lions. They've got the bonus point now. I see it's raining in Scotland. Well, luckily the game's taking place in Wales. For Wales versus Scotland there by Ruan Fenta. 10th try for his career. And the bonus point now scored by this Lions team. The break killed the Sharks' momentum back to their old ways. Says Mike. Yeah, there was one moment in the game that they could have, theoretically got back into the game, and they just chose not to. They took the 3. Can you get a timing clock? It's down the bottom. It says 53 minutes at the moment. We have there Wales is running 100%, although they do have a roof on the Principality, so I'd assume that would be closed. For the contest as well, so rain not going to affect that game too much at all. Chris Smith does kick that one down the middle, makes the score 34 points to 15 after the 53 minutes gone. Just cancel the game, says Cameron. Yeah, this one's starting to get a little bit one-sided. I just cancel the rest of the Sharks fixtures. Looks like a few changes are about to be made. Pipsi Putalezi, not far from making his way on. Jordan Hendrickse. And then also Brodia, I believe, is making his way on. They're breaking the season break. I think if this game was after the Stormers, they'd be a lot better, says Mike. Now they have to try and fire back to go into that game next week up against the Bulls. I've been to the Principality. It's nice, says Big Rig. 27 minutes now remain. In this fixture, they may get through it smoothly before we get too close to that next game. Thanks, says Finn. However, you have to download an app, and I get messages telling me to rate it, even though I haven't been there in ages, says Big Rick. And Sharks are just hopeless. Hashtag Sharks forever, says Sash. And now another line out here around the halfway line. A few changes have been made. That's another drop ball. And this time it's the knock on from the Sharks. Gives the Lions the ball. My dream is to visit New Zealand. Says Mohadin, and about 36 degrees here near Cape Town, so that's a bit brutal. And Peter and Khan, future nines for the box, says Cape Tonian. Yeah, because I guess once Reinhardt does hang up the boots, someone's got to take that jersey on, don't they? I'll be curious to see who it is that Rassi looks towards. Peter's so overrated, says Sash. And also no rain here today, says Bruce there too. Does anyone know what the weather at Twickenham's like? Is it supposed to rain for that game, or is it going to be a clear game? Hopefully it's nice and we don't have a whole heap of handling errors throughout it. Ball's fed in now by Morne Vandenberg. Across to the right-hand side. Ronson Mills back out after his yellow card. Chris Smith kicks it in behind. Becomes a foot race out wide. Angelo Davids is going to win it. He boots that ball forward. Oh, it's well done by Jaco Williams. I think it may have been taken back. I know Six Nations stream says Xavier, Six Nations hasn't started yet. The game is in 50 minutes time, but we are covering both England versus Ireland as well as Scotland versus Wales on the channel. The game just hasn't got underway. However, that meter says Mohadin. And while the Sharks, or I think the Sardines, I should call it today, says Daryl. And probably nice in Cape Town, 26 degrees, says Albert. Right, they're just checking something here again. On-field decision. Ball was grounded by a Sharks player, I believe is what they've gone with there. The Divide 16, if I'm not mistaken, says they are underdog. Oh, there might have been a knock-on first from Angelo Davids. Yeah, he's knocked that one on anyway, so it should be a 5-metre scrum here for the Sharks. Or at least that's the way it looks at this stage. Right, they're going to go back for the scrum now, 5 metres out in favour of the Sharks. It's going to be the scrum. Angelo Davids gives the thumbs up there. And England cloudy, 13 degrees. Okay, so that's not awful in terms of what the weather could be like for that game. 25 minutes remaining, 34 points to 15 the score. Lions with that comfortable lead of 19 points. Okay, all new front row here. And what the heck is England, or when the heck is England not cloudy and light rain at Twickenham, about 13 degrees, says Annie. Okay, so maybe a little bit of slipperiness, but hopefully nothing too severe. We should celebrate it as a national holiday, says Big Rig. Yeah, it's probably not ideal for rugby. Well, to be fair, though, they are used to the conditions, aren't they, by this stage of the English? Grey skies in the UK, says Roof there too. Vincent Koch has gone down in the front row. They're just going to have another reset here. And Sharks, you were really giving meaning to the phrase, you dropped the ball. Oh, what happened, boys? Sharks till I die, but well done to the Lions. Yeah, they've looked rusty in this game, the Sharks, haven't they? They've had a lot of handling errors. And the Lions have just been the more aggressive side out there on the park. But curious to see what happens next week now. Because, of course, you've got the Lions. They are going head-to-head up against the Stormers. And then the Bulls versus Sharks. That's always a great game when those two sides play off. Brodia to put the ball in again for the scrum. Says our underdog pick. That not bad for Twickenham at only February, says Daryl. 20 to 30% chance of rain at Twickenham from 5 p.m. Oh, penalty goes the way of the Sharks, and the turf has been absolutely brutalised under the feet of the players by the looks of it. And Jordan Hendrickson will be able to kick this one towards the touchline. That's a real reason why England do well at Twickenham. The Aussies and Italians and Kiwis aren't used to playing rugby in Silent Hill. And so the Lions win the 2 games against the Sharks. Yes, if they win this game, they would have gone back-to-back over the... It's quite interesting, actually, when you think about it, because the Sharks bet the Stormers twice. The Lions probably will end up beating the Sharks twice. The Bulls... Have the Bulls beaten the Lions twice? Because if they have, then it's a weird cycle that these South African sides are doing to each other. The Bulls beat the Lions once at least. Oh no, the Bulls and Lions broke the chain because they were 1-1. So the Lions win. Oh no, I read that one. And every day before that says Daryl. That's a real reason why. Oh no, I read that one too. Tell you what, we're up to date in the reading department. That's going to be a full pass from the Sharks. So again, the ball is going to be there for the Lions. Lorenzo Julius this time, the one who does make the mistake. It's not even 5 phases each time now that the Sharks are making the mistake. Yeah, that's a terrible pass from Lorenzo Julius. That was always going forward, big rig. Wallabies did the English better last year. Underrated game, says they are underdog pick. Couple changes being made now, or in fact 3 changes. All new front row for the Lions. Franco Marai, Arif Skorman, and also Eddie Davids have all made their way on. The weather prospects for tomorrow between Sri Lanka and England is looking much better, with only a 30% chance of rain. There's Mornay. Well, that is, I guess, a bit of a bonus then, if it is going to behave itself weather-wise. Last thing you want is all the games to get rained off, isn't it? That would suck. The turf is getting absolutely ripped up underneath all of these scrums, and there have been a lot of them throughout this match, especially in the second half. So we've got another 20 minutes remaining in this matchup. Scrum front rows have gone down. Penalty goes the way of the Lions. Oh, sorry, Sharks have managed to get themselves the penalty there. The Lions were the first front row that went down, taking that tap. What was that? That was absolutely terrible from the Sharks. They took the quick tap, then threw the ball straight back into the hands of the Lions and said, actually, we don't want the ball. But there's a knock on now from the Lions. So the Sharks, they have the ball, but they're currently only about 10 metres inside of their 22. They'll go back for the scrum, but yeah, an awful bit of play. I was the preferred man of the match for the Lions or the Sharks. Ooh, I think man of the match has to go to Morne van den Berg if you're looking at a Lions player for what he's been able to do throughout this contest. He's looked very sharp from that 9 jersey. Bronson Mills outside of that yellow card's been solid. Sharks, if you were to give anyone the man of the match, you'd probably give it to maybe Jason Jenkins. He's been busy. Edward van der Merwe, he's had a couple moments, but not really enough. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a Lions player, just the way that it sits currently. Hamish must be 10. I'm a bit older than 10 years old, yes. Or else it would be past my bedtime at 2:30 a.m. Yeah, the fact that Morne van den Berg is still out there on the field, I think gives him a very good chance of getting that man of the match award. He's helped set up tries. He's also scored one himself. And has well and truly outclassed Hendrickson in that 9 battle today. Now, still another 20 minutes remaining. These two sides are having another quick break. Morne van den Berg, Fenta, and Mpeku, says Ruth. The bonus point is still in play for the Lions. They cannot lose. It isn't like Super Rugby, how it's 3 or more than your opposition. It is just if you are winning and you get the 4 tries, or even if you're losing and you get 4 tries, you do get that extra point. Do you know when Angelo Davis moved from the Stormers? I think it was last season that he went to the Lions, or it might have even been the season prior to that. I know that he was still at the Stormers when they had Sanatla And maybe also Peterson was still there when Angelo Davids was fighting for the spot on the wing. But yeah, I think he's been at the Lions since last season. Maybe. Everybody is waiting for the clash between India and South Africa as like a World Cup final repeat of 2024, says Monty Lagrange. Yeah, it does sadly overlap with the matchup taking place between France and Italy, or else we probably would have ended up covering it on the channel too. A ball to be fed in by the Sharks here. With the 19 minutes left on the clock. Few changes have been made by both sides, but still late switches to be made in this one too. Right, ball has come out the back. Brodia goes across to Jordan Hendrickson. Lorenzo Julius this time hangs on to the ball, breaks the line. It's going to be a chance out wide. The grubber, that's a terrible kick again. And they've just put too much on it there, the Sharks. They're not playing strategically at all at the altitude. Sharks are toast test titanium. I mean, they're making a lot of errors pretty much every time that they do something right. They do something just much worse straight after. Like the perfect line break from Lorenzo Julius. Went straight through everybody and then saw the kicking opportunity out wide. Absolutely bashed it into touch. And the chance is now gone. Although the Lions, 5 metre line out from their own line, a tricky one to do. That might be their chance. Yeah, the Sharks looking for the steal. Unable to take it now. Passed across to Klakane. And that is going to be the penalty there for a no-arms tackle from the Sharks. So that takes away that momentum once more. And ouch, says Ruth. And there as well. So we'll go like that, and we'll go like that as well. Referee just saying to not drop to the knees. That one's gone into touch now from Chris Smith. And trash call again, thanks ref, says Sash. Yeah, they just, the thing is, they may haven't had the greatest calls in some regards. There's still been many that they should have been penalised for, but like it hasn't been good enough handling wise. You know, once again, that's been a thorn in the side of the Sharks team for quite a bit of time now. To our lady line judges, how often has that happened? Not very, I don't think. In the URC or anywhere, to be fair. Now, Klakane. It's that ball up once more. And there's rain at the cricket. There certainly is, and it doesn't look like they're going to get any game in. It's kicked high from Hasim Peed. Chasing after that one. Big collision in the air. It sits up for Vincent Tachuka. He was hit high around the jaw. And it is going to be the advantage now in favour of the Sharks. I'm a Sharks fan, and this is not the ref. The Sharks shooting themselves in the foot with the errors. Anything to get people in Ellis Park, says Sash. Oh, they're going back now for the high shot. Vincent Tachuka seems like he's all right to continue. When is your schedule going to be open for a T20 World Cup game? Not during the weekend, sadly, by the looks of it. India versus South Africa tomorrow doesn't work because of the overlap with the Six Nations. The game the day after, possibly, like Sri Lanka, England, I won't be able to do because that will be when I'm sleeping before the Six Nations. Zimbabwe, West Indies, Tuesday morning, maybe, if I'm lucky. But, yeah, it hasn't really, like, schedule-wise, it hasn't helped too much. Now, the penalty was awarded to the Sharks. They have 15 minutes here to score twice. They want to get the bonus point from this game. They are still just looking at this one. All right, it meets the yellow card threshold. So it sounds like Murray is going to be potentially sent off when you're working. I will be working Monday, as well as I'm pretty sure every day this week or next week I will be at work. Our Lions will win, and he is saying or staying tuned in. I have work to do, see you later during the Six Nations, says Bruce. Ellis Park is a garbage stadium. The only way it makes money is if the Lions win. says Sash. Well, they're doing a good job here. 34 points on the board at the moment. Lions going good. Says Leo. And who itch got winning super, top 4. Who itch? Is in like rugby itch or is in like just myself? Too much invested in Johannesburg. To have a bad Lions team, says Sash. And Sharks are not playing well, says Big Rig. No, they've just had far too many errors. You know, they've shown real clear signs of rust. In this case, although this rolling ball's looking all right. It's made about 15 metres. They'll get themselves, I believe, a penalty advantage, or at least I thought that they may have. It's going to be trapped in there, and they're going to give the scrum to the Lions now. Arabic, I'm not actually too sure who his top 4 are. I know we have the Blues in there, more than likely. But I'm not too sure about who else he's got. Right, Edward van der Merwe makes his way off, and that is for Yapinka. Still 15 minutes left in this contest. Great work, Sharks. There's Sash. This game's going to be running deep. Currently, I just have to wait to see whether or not that card is going to be upgraded. I'll be pretty disappointed if it was, to be fair. It didn't look at all cynical. Once again, one of those ones where just going too upright into the tackle and making the mistakes there. Second, we'll go like that. We'll go like that as well. Just while we have got another stoppage in play, I'm going to be able to quickly get the overlays loaded in for that Ireland versus England game. We'll go here, here, there, and there. Hopefully they all fit. I may lag a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, just while those log in. Right, we're good. That is all sorted now. I love you, Hamish. Love you guys. Okay, misses going into the theatre. And as France still get picked up in the Six Nations? Yep. I feel like they're well and truly in the box seat now. Why don't you coach the Sharks? Fire all the players that you play alone, says Mahadeen. Now, what's going wrong with Ireland? Can you put a finger on it? I think it's just, like, there are parts of our Ireland's game at the moment that are struggling, but they could also come out up against England and really do well. That's the tricky part about it. It's just finding that rhythm early, and this Six Nations, they haven't done it. Finished third in last Six Nations as well. They just seem to be a little bit of a slow starter, but I do think that the Prendergast experiment needed to come to a close. And, like, that has now. They're going to have Crowley as the starting 10. I think that that's going to benefit them big time. But, yeah, it just seemed like selections were actually wrong for Ireland. Oh, that's kicked out on the full from the Sharks, so it goes from bad to worse. So they will now go back to where that one was kicked from. However, their speedy recovery for your misses. Oh, see, I read that as like going to the as in a movie theater. I was about to ask which one you're going to see, but yeah, hopefully she is all right, Sash. Yeah, I completely misread that. We have got there. We own the Bled A. Oh, didn't end up throwing that ball because the ref wasn't on the right mark. The Sharks coming back here? Nah, no chance whatsoever. They'll be lucky to score again here, the Sharks, with how they've been playing throughout the second 40. Oh, that's nicely taken at the back by Bronson Mills. Now moves forward there a little bit further. Although did lose that ball. Gets it back into the hands of the Sharks. Jordan Hendrickse fires on the outside. I'm hoping I've jinxed the Sharks here by saying that they won't score. Maybe they've kicked it away again though. Farsi, if they not worked out this game is being played at altitude, he's kicked it dead by about 30 metres up a Lily Farsi. The Sharks have been committing schoolboy errors the whole game. Yeah, pretty much summed up by what Farsi's just done there. It's just really stupid. Unfortunately for the Sharks, they've just been making the simplest things look difficult in this game. Lions won and England to win, says Stephen. All right, they have the option of now a kickoff or a scrum. I think they'll go the scrum here. Molle van den Berg leading the charge, 52% of the votes for the man of the match. That's not too much of a surprise currently. The way that it sits, the Sharks win. I'll give the win to the Lions. They certainly haven't looked great out there. Sharks Rugby argue that people are overestimating Jack Crowley and that 10 subs always shake up the game. If Prendergast came on as a sub, the same shake-up would happen. I think that Prendergast, though, he just looks so rattled out there at the moment. And I don't think, for me anyway, it's not about like Crowley having an impact off the bench, like as to why to chuck him in. I think it's just in terms of composure, and him and Jamison Gibson Park, they just work better together from what we've seen. But I'm curious to see how they go here. I assume, have they got Prendergast off the bench this game? I think they do, right? Unless we have to give other teams a chance, Sharks will rise again. But yeah, the amount of the simple things that Prendergast does wrong at the moment is just hurting his team really badly. And don't get me wrong, he will get better, but timing-wise, I just don't know if he's ready for those reins. I need to get a break before England-Ireland game. Waiting for one more score before checking out, says Leo. And now this one still has 11 minutes or so remaining in this match. It is running long. A nice take. Chris Smith looking for the chip in behind. Bouncing into the hands of Jordan Hendrickse. I've shown the Sharks coach JP and he is shaking his head and puzzled. And Ireland will win, says Duncan. And also how are England odds against the Irish at the moment, odds-wise, for that Six Nations. Where are we? Ireland are $4.50 underdogs. Good break and run from Lorenzo Julius. Passes on the outside. It's going to be picked up by Apalele Fasi. Back to Julius. They will now score, the Sharks. Julius was staying down for a little bit. That's one player, a fly two. Says the underdog pick. And Ireland will win, Lions by 20. But another try. Theoretically, they still could come back, is the craziest thing about this game for the Sharks. I think they're just checking to see whether or not there is a forward pass. Oh no, they're checking for a bit of obstruction, sorry. From inside of the 22. Lorenzo Julius, though, he has looked like one of the more dangerous players out there on the field for the Sharks side. Links up nicely with Fasi. Right, they're checking this one for obstruction again. There is a block put in by Maviseri. You could argue that Chris Smith would have at least got a hand to Jordan Hendrickse. Well, no, they can't. Oh, and TMO's involved here as well. Right, they need to formally review this one. This is going to delay them again. I think it's always the case when you've got a game straight afterwards. That first game always will run long by miles. So what we may end up doing, depending on the timing, we might even end up having to go over to that Six Nations stream and talk about the final couple moments of this game on that stream, depending on how late they go. If the Sharks win from here, they need to investigate match fixing. Says Big Rig. Clearly, intentionally steps to the left, so that's going to be obstruction against Maviseri, and that will be another no try. The Sharks, they will not score it. Cancelling the try. Why don't you sing now? I can think of many things that would be better to do than singing right now, Mohadeen. That seems harsh, says Big Rig, and good referee, says Stephen. So they will go right back to where it was, which means the Lions are now the team who have got themselves the attacking opportunity. They now have to run right back to where that mark was, which is only about 15 metres out. In fact, even closer than that. It looks like it's about 10 metres out. Duality of a man. And now Lions will score, and Sharks are done by again. See, here's Leo Francis. All right, Chris Smith. He will boot this ball into touch once more. How much do you watch boxing? Not a massive amount. Not as much as kind of other combat sports. But then even that I haven't been watching much of throughout the last year or so. All right, time is off again. I can't tell if you're trolling sometimes, says Cape Tonian. I'm a bit the same, I'll be honest. Right, another change taking place. Bronson Mills. Right, what's going on now? It will remain another yellow card here. Okay, so they've just explained why it is staying as the yellow. What are your views on Ruan Finta for 8th man? I mean, he looks handy enough no matter where he is in that loose forward trio and seems to have, decent... I wouldn't mind seeing him anywhere in that loose forward trio, to be fair. So wherever he needs to fit in, I would give him the chance. Right, the Lions driving here again. Referee has called that one as stopping, but it looks like it's going to keep on moving now. Getting that little bit closer to the goal line, 2 metres out. Sharks trying to get that ball, but it is there for Hassim Pete. In fact, it's been held in, so it will be the Sharks scrum now. Just out from their own goal line, about 5 metres. And it's much better work defensively from the Sharks side. Still another 9 minutes in this contest too. Lions versus Landers, who you got? Lions versus Landers. Where are they playing? And how long to go? Still 9 minutes. So yeah, I think what's going to happen possibly is we're going to get to around, 8 minutes time, because time is turned off again here. And then we will be going over to that next live stream and then giving you the update of the last minute of that game over on that stream. The Sharks are pressured by 13 men. Says so incredible. By 14 at the moment. And the game is I have a Lion and a Shark in a fight on land. Says Big Rig. And Club Champion Cup. Says the RA underdog pick. But where are they playing in South Africa or are they playing in New Zealand? Because I think that heavily affects the result. So now it's clear Sharks don't have the depth past the Bok players. Says one Pierre Bosch. I think they've just struggled to get the selection right in this game in general. I feel like they have got some very handy young players. Oh, that's another kick into touch from Apalele Fasi. He's having, I think, one of his worst games I've seen from him. Yeah, Apalele Fasi just continuously making mistakes. He was involved in that Julius try, though. But anytime he's tried to kick the ball, it's just gone pretty much terribly. Good afternoon, mate. Says Fletcher, welcome in. I'd love to see Evan Ruiz versus Henry Pollock beef just one time. Says Cape Tonian. Yeah, well, the question marks around who will be at number 8. Maybe Visa versus Pollock might be what we see for July. Might go on with that pass on the outside. And just nice cover defence from Henko van Wyk. Got that big shot coming in sideways. Do you think Apalele plays for the Springboks? He will probably still be in that Springboks environment, but yeah, definitely not his strongest performance that we've ever seen here. But it happens. You know, you can have times where you're just not quite on the money, and he's been not quite on the money today. We have got that Visa versus Pollock, no contest. Diesel all the way, says Duncan. Or at least people are hoping. Because the last thing that I can tell you right now, a lot of people around the world want to see is if Pollock ended up somehow winning that head-to-head. Because then, you know, it's all being talked about. Wait till Pollock plays England. Wait till he plays South Africa. South Africa are going to teach him a lesson in how to play rugby. But then if he has a good game there, then where do we go from there? If he ends up playing a really good performance. Now, Apalele Fasi running it forward now. Pick and go here for the Sharks. They are getting close to the try line. They need a few more. They need 2 to get themselves a bonus point. They've dropped the ball again, fun fact. And it's going to go into touch. The Sharks now with the line out about 20 metres further back down the field. 6.5 minutes now on the clock. Who's that? That must be Kronya, I believe. No blame Hamish. Bucks would just blame the refs and World Rugby, claiming a conspiracy. Says Big Rig. And Morne Vandenberg, he is looking likely for man of the match in this contest. Which I feel like is fair enough. Now rolling maul chance or no. Lions have managed to steal that ball back again. When you're changing, probably in about 2 minutes' time. This game has run very long. There's still a little bit of build-up time before that England versus Ireland match, but by the time we run through the lineups as well as everything else, oh, that's a terrible pass, but it has found the hands of Yapinka. Locked over the ball. Lions, they do end up conceding the penalty, though, for no release. Farsi's decided to go quickly with this one. That's kicking into touch. It's a good kick, too. Aino has the board as well. So here's Cape Tonian. Maybe the Sharks still can get one in here somewhere. It's taken a lot of effort, though, to be able to get close to being able to score the one. Not going to be easy. Now on the halfway line, that looked a bit high. And there's another knock on there from the Sharks. Not the best Sharks, there's Clifton. Yeah, handling errors time and time again throughout this game. You got to call it rust, I think is the best way of talking about it. But yeah, we have currently only got 19 minutes till that England versus Ireland match of the Six Nations does start up. Does someone get a bonus point? The Lions are in a position of bonus point at the moment due to having the 4 or more tries. Here's probably the next to pot. So here's Ruth. Right, just asking for the scrum to be kept up here. And now another scrum feed. Hasim Pede. Another knock on from the Sharks. Could have been a drinking game. I actually could have left the stream running and just had a button that I pressed that repeatedly said that, and it would be accurate. That's the sad reality here for the Sharks team. A nice pass on the outside now. Killian Peku trying to cut back inwards. The Lions, they are 30 metres out from the try line. Going for the cross kick from Chris Smith. Going Angelo Davids' way. Does he end up knocking it backwards? Lorenzo Julius tries to grub it forward. They'll go back now for another knock on. Guess who knocked it on? It was the Sharks. I didn't give you a chance to guess because you probably already knew. I would be tickets if a drinking game, says Thomas. And excuses gas, says they are underdog. And also we have got their like and sub folks, says Cape Tonian. The crowd still chanting for the Lions though. Currently the way that it sits in terms of the South African Shield, the Lions would move into second place. The Sharks still in first with 3 wins, 2 losses up against South African teams. The Lions going into that same department though, and just being that 1 point behind. Change now, says Mohadeen, and did the warm-up before the game, or they just went in and played. I assume they would have had the little warm-up, but I don't know if they played a match last week. Oh, another penalty to the Sharks. Good one to be able to win there. Was the tight head ended up collapsing. They got one in them, the Sharks. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. In about a minute's time, we will have to pop over to that next live stream, but we will give you the update in terms of whether or not there was one last try scored in the matchup, as I will be able to keep the coverage on while doing the intros of that next stream. Now, line out throw here. Sharks halfway. Oh, overthrown. Picked up, though, by Jordan Hendrickse. Ball still on the side of the Sharks team. Brodia. It's back across to Lorenzo Julius. Drop ball from the Sharks. This time going backwards, though. So a bit of a benefit there. Lions managed to get in the breakdown. And also ripped that ball away briefly. Loose bouncing ball picked up by the Lions once more. Hasim Pete fires it away to the right. Quick hands there. Nicely done. Ruan Fent, another knock on. This time coming from the Lions. So the Sharks back in position. Looking left. And another knock on. Okay, so what we're going to be doing, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to that next live stream now. England versus Ireland. I will let you know what happens in the final minute of this game outside of the scrum. So be sure to pop on over. You will get transferred there as well here. And I will see you all in that very short moment for England versus Ireland.